Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Shall we start, Swamiji? Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. Om Sahana Vavato Sahano Bhunakto Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste everyone. So I'm Swami Shiva Brahmananda from Rishikesh. So I'll be talking about Bhagavad Gita. So today the class will be more of introduction to Bhagavad Gita. So we will have two classes this week and next week, right, Swamiji? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So if we want to see any object, like for example, if I want to see a pen, so I need a means of knowledge to see. So for me, the eyes becomes the means of knowledge, right? If I have to see any object, it can be anything. Same time, if I want to hear something, what will be my means of knowledge if I have to hear? The ears. Ears will be the means of knowledge. So for everything, anything we want to know, there should be a means of knowledge. It's called pramana in Sanskrit. So for us, for Hindus, the Veda is a means of knowledge for knowing everything. So the word Veda itself in Sanskrit is called as knowledge, to know. The word meaning to know. So knowledge about creation, knowledge about how to live a good life, and also self-knowledge. Who am I, etc. What is the essential nature of my existence? What I see myself, is that the final, or is there anything more? So these are the subject matters of Veda. So Veda is the main source of knowledge. As I said, the word meaning Veda itself is knowledge. Now, who wrote the Veda? Who is the author? For everything we have an author. Veda is called Apaurusheya. Apaurusheya means not by any being, not by anybody. There is no author. So generally when we see when there is no author, we just say it has come from Lord himself. It has come along with the creation. So when you don't know who is the author, generally we say it is from God himself. So we have a verse, Sada Shiva Samarambam, coming from Lord Shiva himself. Asmadacharya Paryantam, up to my teacher. So coming from the Lord up to my teacher. So there is no author, it is authorless. But that's why it is said, received knowledge. That knowledge, the Veda, is said, received knowledge, received by some great people, sages, rishis, the people who could understand the meaning of this creation, etc. Whatever doubts they had, they could get the answer, solution. So the Veda is a means of knowledge. Now, we will be coming to Bhagavad Gita. Before that, we should know the little bit background, why Bhagavad Gita is very important. Okay. So Veda has two portions, the first portion and the end portion, that is second portion. And there are four Vedas. There are four Vedas. Every Veda has a different subject to cover. The one Veda is compiled into four Vedas. So that is Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharvana Veda. These are the four Vedas. Okay. So Rig Veda means it contains a lot of hymns, etc., verses, all that. And Yajur Veda, it talks about sacrificial, about what is to be done for sacrifice, all that. And Sama Veda is in the musical form. The same Rig Veda, the verses are sung in the Sama Veda. Atharvana Veda contains mantras to be chanted for sacrifice, etc. So these are the Vedas. We will not be going in detail, just for your knowledge. So the ocean of Veda comes out as a four Veda branches. And in this Veda, the first portion deals with the rituals, etc. Like, for example, we have mantra. What are the mantras to be chanted while doing some rituals? See, the idea is to get a solution for human life. So people in the beginning, they could understand that if they get connected to the nature, like fire, vayu, that is air, space, water. So we have personalized God. Each elements is considered as Shakti, the power. So each power has a name. Like, for example, water God. We have God for water, Varuna Devata, and what fire God, Agni Devata. So they could understand that by give and take, one can live harmoniously. So they could connect with all these devatas, all these elements through his rituals. So all the first portion talks about ritual, etc. And also it has three portions in the first portion itself: Brahmana and mantra Brahmana. Mantra means what is to be chanted, the mantras, and Brahmana is all about rituals. And the last portion is all about knowledge. So in the first portion, there is also some of the rules like don'ts and do's. What is to be done? Vidhi and pratisheda in Sanskrit. Vidhi means what is to be done. Like, for example, every day one should do particular ritual that is mentioned there. And there are things not to be done, like himsam na kuryat, means never do violence, never do violence. And kalanjam na bhakshayet, never eat meat. Suram na pibet, do not drink what? Alcohol. Kalanjam, suram na pibet. It says na pibet, don't drink. Then question comes, what? Suram na pibet. Don't take alcohol, etc. And also the lifestyle. It talks about lifestyle, how a human life can be. For example, it takes a human life to be for 100 years. So the first one-fourth, the first portion will be called as brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means student life, one who is student, one who studies Brahman, that is ultimate truth. That is the meaning of brahmacharya actually. Or one who studies Veda. Then comes grahastha. Grahastha means married, the family person. So the brahmacharya's duties are mentioned, and the married person, as a married, having a family, what are his duties? What are do's and don'ts? That is mentioned. Then comes retirement, vanaprastha. Vana means forest. So here, forest means you take retirement from active life. You can be wherever you are, but it is symbolic to say you go to the forest. Means you take retirement. You hand over all your activities to the family or your children, and you take to the retirement and spend more time into upasana, meditation, and study. Then finally, sannyasa. We have something called sannyasa. Sannyasa means you give up all the activities. We will discuss all this. You give up all the activities and take to study of scriptures alone. The final understanding of what is truth, what this life is all about. Is there anything after death? Is there anything called existence? Is there anything that is there any essential thing in this creation from where everything comes? So these are the questions to be answered. So to know this, you need commitment, total commitment, because one cannot give up action just like that. You need to go through all these stages, and finally you give up ritually. So sannyasa is also part of this four lifestyle. So this is all about Vedic lifestyle. And it is said how one should earn money. Veda never denies the need of money, because you need money for your livelihood. It never says stop earning, not in that way, because Veda is considered as a mother, Veda Mata. If my mother loves me, one mother loves me so much, Veda Mata is considered as a thousand mother. So it is like equivalent of thousand mothers' love. So it is for our own growth alone. Whatever all these rules are there, it is for my own growth. So it talks about how one should earn money. It says artha, kama, dharma, moksha. So first comes artha. Artha means you should earn money, no doubt. For what I need money? To fulfill my desires. Okay. Say it is said that you are born because of desire. You wanted to fulfill something which did not happen in the past. So Veda accepts past life, all that. So something was making you feel that you are limited. You wanted to get something more. It did not happen. So you come. So desire alone. So next is fulfillment of desire, artha and kama, fulfillment of your desire. Now, So that means I can earn money and fulfill my desires by any means? No, there is dharma. The third one is dharma. So generally the sequence will be the first dharma. Dharma means righteous way. Righteous. Dharma has so many meanings. If you look at Google, it translates as a religion. What is your religion? So that is asked here. What is your dharma? So, but there is nothing to do with the word religion with dharma, because it's a Sanskrit word. It comes from the root dru. Dru means something to hold. So when you follow the life of dharma, you grow. That's the idea here. You grow as a complete person. When you look back, you will not have guilt. You will feel considerably, you feel that you have achieved what is to be achieved, that you won't feel sad. That is what is dharma. So if you follow dharma, you will have that considerably satisfaction, where you feel okay. May not be the complete satisfaction, complete freedom, but still you will not have the guilt. That's the idea here. So the sequence will be like from dharma, then artha, then kama. Then finally, the moksha. Life is not all about earning, fulfilling the desire, and living a good life. That's not the complete aim. So these are the four aims in life, the goals in life. What are the goals you should be having? So the first one is artha, that is earning, and kama, fulfilling desires, then dharma, and finally the moksha. So the moksha is freedom, liberation. So this is going to be the subject matter of our class. That is all about Bhagavad Gita. What is liberation? That we are going to see. So then comes the second portion, the last portion. As I said, we have four Vedas. Every Veda has one portion which dedicate itself to knowledge. So it is all about self-knowledge. Who am I? Where I have come from? Is my aim is to do something good, earn my livelihood, eat and sleep and do something good? Will that give me a complete satisfaction? If yes, fine. But it is you who has to answer. If no, then you have to go to the second portion of Veda. That is the subject matter of this portion. So this second portion is in the form of Upanishads. They are called Upanishads. So now you got some words to remember. Veda, it has four. These things you will find in Google, don't worry. If you don't remember, don't worry. You just put the Veda and four Veda, all that you don't worry. Okay, whatever I'm talking, it is there in the Google also. So Veda, the four Vedas, and the subject matter of the first portion, and the subject matter of the last portion. Because it is in the last portion, it is called Veda Anta. Vedanta. So now you may recollect, you might have heard in YouTube, Vedanta, the knowledge of Vedanta, right? Yeah. So Anta means end portion. It is not the end of knowledge. Sometimes you may see the meaning as the end of knowledge. It is not like that. It is the end portion of Veda. It comes in the end portion. And it is in the form of. What is Upanishads? As I said, the word itself gives the meaning. In Sanskrit, if you learn Sanskrit, it is very easy to catch. Upa, ni, sad. Upa and ni are prefix to the word sad. Okay. We have 2,000 roots in Sanskrit. Every word comes from each root, and that each root has a sense, the meaning to the root. And it has prefix, suffix, all that when you add, it becomes a word, a complete word, or it can become a verb, noun or verb. So the word meaning upa means very close. Ni, ni means nishchaya. Nishchaya means sure, surety. Okay. And sad means to destroy. So now you can put together and understand something. When you go closer, you get destroyed. This becomes the meaning. Right? If you put all these words together, it becomes when you go near, you get destroyed. No. Here, something gets destroyed. What is that? Ignorance. I don't know, I know. I don't know is ignorance. I know is knowledge. Now, when I ask, who am I? Whom I have to ask? I have to ask myself, who is already ignorant. So, from where answer can come, that is what is a debatable. So, then this pramana vichara comes in. That is employing the means of knowledge. Did you understand? Here, the need of study comes in. The means of knowledge. See, if I have to see any object, I need eyes if I want to see. If I want to hear something, some sound, I use ears. But when I want to know myself, what means of knowledge I can employ here? So here the role of Vedanta, the study of scripture, comes in. So it acts like a mirror. Like, for example, if you want to see your own eyes, what is to be used? You need some reflection. You need some reflecting agent. It can be a mirror or some reflecting thing. It can be a steel plate also. If it is shiny and clean, you can see a little bit. If it is a mirror, you can see very clearly. So this Upanishads acts like a mirror. It helps you to see who you are. Because the subject matter is that. The whole Upanishad is nothing but about self-knowledge. What is the reality of your existence? Is there anything beyond body and mind? When you say I, you may identify only with the body, or maybe with the mind, or intellect. But here it says, who is the person saying I? So that is the thing to be understood. Seer and seen. Who is using the eyes? I am seeing through my eyes. See, you cannot say my eyes are seeing. You will say I am seeing through my eyes. I am hearing through my ears. I am smelling through my nose. I am tasting through my tongue. So, for example, when you say, this is my hand, you never say, this is me. You'll never say that. You say, this is my hand, this is my hair, this is my nose. If I ask you, who are you? You cannot say, I am hand. my legs. This is my leg. You cannot say I am the leg. Now, even if you go inside, this is my kidney, this is my liver, this is my lungs, this is my pancreas, this is my intestine, this is my blood, this is my mind, these are my thoughts. That's why you say, I don't like this thought today. I want to meditate. I want to be quiet. I want to be in silence. I want to enjoy this silence. I don't want this mind to chatter. It keeps on, disturbing me. I don't like I get angry. I don't like that. So that means there is someone who says that. And who is that? That's you. There's nothing mystic about it. So these are the subject matter of second portion. Okay, very interesting. We will come to Bhagavad Gita now, where Bhagavad Gita stands. We will see that. So this is all about Veda. And also it is called Shruti. It's called Shruti. Shruti means heard. Something which is heard. It is also called oral tradition. It is an oral tradition. And we also have Smriti. Smriti means something remembered and written by someone. Like we have Puranas. Puranas means it is like a story form. Like normally, it's not easy for everyone to understand what Veda talks about. You need a lot of knowledge to get into Veda. You need language. You need to know how to chant it. Connect. We have connotations up and down. Like when I chanted the first beginning of the class, I chanted Shanti Mantra from Veda, Krishna Yajurveda. Like I said, Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano. You can see that up and down going. Sahano Bhunatu Saha Viryam Karavavahe Tejasvi Navadhetamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. So these are the things. If you happen to come to India, you will see the small boys, they keep on chanting this in some of the temples. It's called Veda. So the connotations, the up and down, that is very important, because it is said that also has a meaning in it, and there is a way to chant it. You cannot sing this mantra. The mantras cannot be sung. Hymns can be sung. So Bhagavad Gita is called verses, shloka. It can be sung. But when it comes to mantras to be chanted. Why? Because it is like it is a medicine. It has some power. The words, it carries some power in it. And also it changes the meaning. It is said one person wanted to invoke some person who could kill Indra Devata. Indra is the head of all the gods. This is all heaven story, okay? He wanted to bring someone as his son who could kill the head of the Devata, that is gods, angels, or you can call it angels. So then he arranged the ritual where he has to chant the mantra while invoking that power in the fire. So he used one mantra saying that Indra Deva Vardasva. That is the mantra. Okay, don't worry about all that meaning. I'm just telling you why it is important. So he chanted differently. The same thing. Indra Deva Vardasva, something like that he did. He made a mistake while chanting. So he got a son who could come out of that fire. But because the meaning, it happened in a way that his son got killed by Indra. That that is what happened. He wanted to kill Indra through this his son. But the mantra, because of wrong chanting, the effect was the Indra got the power to kill because the mantra was like that. That is what the example. So mantras are also very important, and the way to chant it. So same way, it is very difficult for a person to understand everything as it is in Veda. It's not easy. You have to be equipped with so many other preliminary knowledge, language. Even you should be well versed in astronomy, etc. So many things to be learned. So then we have Smritis, correct? First one is Shruti, the heard knowledge, direct. And next is remembered knowledge. So after studying all that, they brought out in the form of story, etc. So that is all called Puranas. So they gave uh, pictorious, right? They give the form to each power. Like as I said before, water, Varuna Devata. We have each form, the head of the god, Indra Devata. And also we have God for death. See, you can see in the Veda, we never talk about one God or God somewhere. We don't have those things mentioned in Veda. It says only God. So whatever is here is God. That is the idea. So that's why everything is given form. Water is God. Fire is God. Air is God. Space is God. What about death? Oh my God, death should be devil. No, God. Very interesting culture. Very, very interesting. You need to get healed. So much healed before coming to all this knowledge. Your childhood should be proper. Your parents should be loving you so much, giving you good education, having a lot of love in your heart for the world. Then only you can understand this, only God. Otherwise, you will have always anger inside. You did not had, I don't say good father, good, every father, mother is good, okay. Maybe some mistake, upbringing, there is anger for authority. You will never like authority. That's all psychology anyway. So this is what is the culture. Only God. Whatever is here is God. So some of my students ask, I have a dog, mommy. I have a pet. Okay. Is that also God? I say yes. Oh my God. Because they know in India, they take cow. Cow is considered to be God only. Not only cow, any animal. Just Google Indian gods and goddesses. You will find so many animals standing near that god. What about lion? God. Who? He is a vehicle of Durga. There's a goddess called Durga, the power, God. What about snake? Poisonous, dangerous, God. Where you see on the neck of our Lord Shiva. What about dog? His son, Shiva's son. Son is also a god. His vehicle is dog. I have been to the temple in the central part of India. It's called Ujjain, sorry, yeah. So what about a rat? So small, useless rat. That is also part of the vehicle of Lord Ganesha. What about elephant? Look at the picture of Ganesha. So with this, now you can understand this Purana means what? Purana means these are the stories in the story form. How to explain to people that whatever is here is God. Then we have Purana. So they are called Smriti. Smriti means the people who have read, who had this knowledge, they brought out in the form of books. So there are Puranas. Also, we have two epic, very huge epics. One is Mahabharata and another is Ramayana. Epic means it's a poetry, huge, voluminous of verses, around 1 lakh verses, 100,000 verses. So that is why it is called epic, even though it is one of the, it comes under history, but it is named as an epic because of that poetry. So Mahabharata, I heard it is the biggest poetry in the world. Mahabharata is a story, huge story. In Mahabharata, this is again Smriti. Okay, now you understand what is Smriti and what is Shruti. Shruti means the heard knowledge, the direct Veda, and all this Purana and epic is Smriti. Okay, we will come back to this where I am going to tell you about Bhagavad Gita. So then we also have 6 darshanas. Darshana means visions. Again, we have authors for that. People try to understand what Veda is talking about. They gave their own visions. All this was allowed in this culture. Anybody could come and they could, they could discuss, they could debate, because there is no insecurity problem. Because it is not about one God. If you negate that one God, our whole culture is collapsed. Nothing of that. There is no fear. Nothing to lose. That's the idea. So everybody was welcome. So these are the 6 visions we have. It's called Shat Darshana. Shat Darshana. So it is, the first one is Nyaya. Nyaya means logic. And we have dedicated Rishi for that, Gautama. Nyaya. Okay, it's all about logic. Logically, they arrive at the truth. Very beautiful subject, huge again. And then Vaishishika, it's about evolution from atom to what, all that is explained there. And Sankhya, there is something called Sankhya. Sankhya is by Kapila. There's a rishi called Kapila. It talks about Purusha and Prakriti. Okay, Prakriti means the nature, and Purusha. Purusha means the truth, essence. So this is the subject matter of that book, Sankhya. And Yoga. Yoga by Patanjali. Okay, we will see the yoga is very much connected to Sankhya. The Vaishishika and Nyaya, they both are connected. And then Uttara Mimamsa and Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. These are another 4 plus 2. Purva Mimamsa talks about ritual, etc. Ritual, chanting, all that. Uttara Mimamsa talks about self-knowledge, which also can be called as Vedanta. So these are the 6 visions. We saw the Veda and the portions of Veda, the subject matter. The first portion and the end portion is in the form of Upanishads, and they are all called as Shrutis, heard knowledge. Then comes Smritis, remembered. Then Puranas, different Puranas dedicated to each gods in the form of stories, etc. Then two big epics, Mahabharata and Ramayana. It's a story. Then we saw six visions, six visions. That is Nyaya, logic, Vaisheshika about evolution, and Sankhya, Purusha and Prakriti, and Yoga. Yoga focuses more on the mind, okay, by Patanjali. Purva Mimamsa about rituals, and Uttara Mimamsa about self-knowledge. So this is the history of Hindu culture. If anybody wants to know what is Hindu culture, you are supposed to read all this. They say you need not study all that, because it takes a few years, few decades maybe. It may take many years to study. So it is said, if you want to know Hinduism, you can study one book that is called Bhagavad Gita. So that's why it is said, it is the essence of Veda. And it comes in the middle portion of Mahabharata. Mahabharata, as I said, the epic Mahabharata. It is the history of India 5,000 years back. What happened? It's a history. In that one portion, there's a discussion between Lord Krishna. Krishna is considered as an incarnation of God. Okay, between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna was a king. So now, what is this incarnation? So it is said, even though only God, whatever is here is God, but when people are in distress, when they are suffering from something, and when they do collective prayers, not that they stand under something, they come together all and pray, not necessarily, but in everybody's heart, they feel there should be some help. There should be something which can guide us or which can help us, who can help us. So then it is said, just like water becoming a snow or ice, the river in the winter, it turns to ice, it becomes ice. So because of so many people's will, devotion, so the nature takes a form, a very peculiar form, which is not born like ourselves. We are all born out of karma. Karma means whatever past, whatever desire, which we discussed. Only the desires bring us to life. We want to achieve something. We want to achieve. Why we want to achieve? Because I have to be happy. So in the journey of achieving, if I collapse or if I die, what happens? Again, you will pick up the thread from where you have left. That is what is the contention of Veda. You will pick up from wherever you have left and you begin your journey. Till when? Endless. Is there any end for this? Yes. you can be free. What I am supposed to do if I want to become free? Then go to the means of knowledge, where the discussion is all about liberation. Where I have to go? The end portion of Veda. But it is very huge. I have to study so much. No, don't worry. There is something called Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita has the essence of Veda. It covers everything. And it becomes very, very important book because it is coming from incarnation of God. And it is very well proved. If you look at the history of Lord Krishna, who was Lord Krishna? So Bhagavad Gita is a book of knowledge. It's a book of life also, you can say. It's a book of life, or book of knowledge. And it talks about everything. Whatever I discussed from different books, all that you find in Bhagavad Gita. And it is all about knowledge. See, what was that? What was the destroying thing in Upanishad? What was getting destroyed? The ignorance, right? We discussed just a few minutes back. Upanishad. Something get destroyed. What is that? Ignorance. I don't know. So what I need? Knowledge. When there is darkness, what we need? Light. So here light is a knowledge. And where knowledge takes place? In the kidney, in the liver, where the knowledge takes place. Wherever the knowledge is not there, wherever there is ignorance, there it takes place. Wherever there is a ignorance, there the knowledge takes place. So that's why it is cognitive. Why? It's a very huge discussion. Okay. Why it is cognitive? Because we are the Veda, when this Veda talks about reality, it is not talking something which is not there. It is talking about something already there. See, you are in a dark room. There is a key. You forgot the key inside, and when you went in, the power cut. When you go inside, you don't get the key. Does it mean the key does not exist there? It's not there. It's there. You don't see it. It's already there. You know, another good example, when you keep your wallet in the or purse. Forget this example. The best example. Some moms carry the baby. It might have happened in your friends and relatives. They carry the baby. Sometimes they put the backpack like they carry a baby. For 2 hands and 2 legs, it is just attached to the mother's back. So sometimes they will be anxious. Oh my God, where's my baby? They forget. And they look for the baby everywhere. And somebody will come and say, hey, what are you looking for? Your baby is on your back. Oh my God. So this is what. Now, to know that child is on mother's back, what kind of practices she has to do? What kind of work she has to be done? What has to be done by her to know? She has to know. She has to recognize that my baby is there. Once she recognizes, oh, that's it. Why it happened like that? Because the baby was already there. Now, in your hand, there is no apple. Thank God, while listening to me, you are not eating apple. So there's no apple. Now, if you want to have apple, what you are supposed to do? You have to go to the market, supermarket, or anywhere. You have to go to the market and get the apple and come back. A lot of things. You may use a bicycle, bike, or you may go by car, you may go by taxi, you may go by some means. You have to go there, pick up the apple, and maybe in some of the countries, I don't know from where you are, we didn't had any introduction in the beginning because we have less time. So you may have to bargain. Hey, no, 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 no. How can it be $2? Give me for 1.5. I brought it last year. They will say, no, it was before Corona. This is now after Corona. So all that you have to do. You know why I'm explaining? Because you are trying to get something which you don't have. You have to put some effort there. You have to go bargain, use your money or credit card, all that. Then you get an apple and you enjoy sitting in your room, cut the apple and eat. All that happened, all this effort. Why? Because apple is not with you. It is somewhere. It's not with you. But here, the truth, what we are talking is you, not even within you. Not even within you. If I say within me, then you have to use something to see. Oh, when sometime when you sit in the meditation, some people they do like this. I have seen. Why? Because they are searching the self. Who is searching? God knows. I am searching. I am trying to see. Who is trying to see? So this is what we have to understand exactly what is the means and what should be the goal. The means and the end should be very clear. I'm using the car as a means to reach a particular place. If I have to buy an apple, yes, I have to put some effort there because it is something different from me which I don't have. But when it comes to self-knowledge, it is already existing. It's already there. So that's why it is told, it is cognitive. It is to be recognized. So Bhagavad Gita is in the form of dialogue. That's why I wanted to connect. Very interesting. The Bhagavad Gita is between two people, the dialogue between two people. The Lord Krishna as a teacher and Arjuna, the king, as a student. Why so much discussion? Have you ever tried to know why so much discussion in spirituality? Krishna would have told in the beginning, hey Arjun, go and sit under the tree and meditate. Don't talk. Don't waste your time. Don't ask so many questions. Who am I? I get angry. My childhood is not all right. I have a pain. I have anger on mother. I don't like my father. I don't like my brother. I don't like my friends. What I'm supposed to do? So many questions. How to meditate? Why I should meditate? If I don't meditate, what will happen? First of all, why all this? Good and bad. I don't care. So many questions. Then Krishna gives answers to everything, for everything. He answers because it's all about ignorance. There's nothing to show. The truth cannot be shown because it's not an object. Very interesting, right? It cannot be shown because it's not an object. The person who is asking the question, he himself is the truth. So it's a very unique way of teaching. There's a methodology of neti neti. Neti means not this the water and you know neti pot. Don't think that Krishna was teaching Arjuna neti to understand the self. That is also neti. Okay, but here neti neti methodology means not this, not that, not this, not that. Na iti, not this. Means removing what is not. Did you understand? Removing what is not. The notion that I am limited, I am body, I am insecure, what will happen to me? All this is misidentification. You are you know, a few days back, just yesterday, I was looking at Facebook. In that, maybe you should check if you can. Maybe it's there in the YouTube. Very, very beautiful. There's a man sitting there, and his hand, you know, there's a plank. His one hand, right hand is outside the plank. He's sitting on the chair, and there's a plank, and he puts his hand. One hand is like this. And in between, they fix one rubber hand, rubber, rubber hand, and exactly kept in the same way, like this one. This is rubber hand, and this is original hand. And the man tries to touch with the one something. He touches his. He tries to bring his attention to that rubber hand. He touches the right hand and that rubber hand. Both hands he touches. Okay, and then he says, do you feel the sensation now in the rubber hand as if your own hand? He says, oh my God, I can feel that. Now even when you touch it, I feel as if it's my hand now. He says that. So much identification with that rubber hand that he feels now that is his hand. And then he picks up a hammer and hits it. It feels so painful. Oh my God. So painful. Did you see that? This is what the knowledge is about. This is the discussion of Bhagavad Gita. Very interesting, very beautiful, and explained thoroughly, and not just do this, do that. Okay, chant this mantra, it will happen. You know, it's very easy. If anybody disturbs you, give him one chant and say you chant this for 1 million. And he never comes back after that. So there's nothing called future plan. It will happen. If it has to happen, now, here and now. That's why Arjuna and Krishna, they had this discussion in the battlefield itself. Where there is a problem, there the solution has to come. Very interesting. We will see in the next class what is all about Bhagavad Gita. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.